Hi. Vibrating Minds, clearly stated. Thank you so much for being here with me and for clicking on my video. Let's talk about getting off the poison. Just for a minute. I won't go on about it too much, but I will talk about my experience of coming off my alcohol use. I always called myself a functional alcoholic. Why? Because I drank after work. I didn't drink during work. I drank after work. Therefore, I could do my job and then be an alcoholic. Literally. Sorry, guys. This feels so good. I have arm and shoulder pain and shoulder blade pain. So I've got a heating pad on and it feels absolutely amazing on my neck. But anyhow, so yeah, let's go back to the poison. So I was a slow and steady alcoholic. I spent the better part of my younger years whining and complaining about alcoholics and how I grew up with them and how they were part of my world and how being an alcoholic was really sucked. Just sucked. For whatever my reasons were in my younger years, thinking whatever it is that I thought back then was the right way to think. To find out that, you know what, all I was doing is just slowly aiming myself towards my own alcoholism. I know, right? So here I am, my younger years complaining about alcoholics and how I grew up with them, and I know what they're all about, and all they do is, they fight and drink and argue and blah, blah. And so when I grew up and I became a slow alcoholic, meaning I became a weekend alcoholic, I drank only on weekends, I drank my ass off, but I danced my ass off too. So I became a weekend alcoholic in my late 20s, right? For 30s, mid to late 20s, early 30s, and then 30s, and then you become that weekend steady alcoholic until, depending on how busy and crazy your fucking life gets, depending how much you have going, because you're busy, because that's what you do, right? You have such a tremendous amount of disdain for yourself that you don't give yourself a moment of personal calm and joy. So while you're busy running around like a chicken with your head cut off and trying to make, ends meet, trying to understand what the fuck it is you're doing here and what is all this shit and who said we had to do this, and sorry, I'm just turning on my, who said we had to do this, and so what do? You slowly progress yourself into a bigger alcoholic. Why? Because you're trying to figure your fucking shit out. And you can't. And the bottle is the only thing that can slow your mind down. So you turn to the bottle to slow your mind down. But depending on how you're feeling when you're turning to that bottle will determine how you act after you've had a few, too many. If you go into drinking with a shit attitude, what the fuck do you expect is going to happen at the end of the night? Seriously. So, not only are you an alcoholic, a functioning alcoholic, but depending how you feel about life and what's going on in your world will determine how you treat the people around you while you're drinking. And then when the people around you start telling you that you're treating them like shit, you're like, wait, what? How come? What do you mean? What do you mean? Because you're an asshole alcoholic at this point. You may be functioning. You may be paying your bills. You may be taking care of shit. But on the alcoholic side, it ain't working for you. So then, you gotta make yourself realize and understand that you're an alcoholic. And then you have to figure out, how'd you get there? So with the how you get there, you start looking back at your life and you go, that explains so much. If I learned anything, all the things that I criticized in my life were all the things I eventually became. Being an alcoholic was just something that was going to eventually happen. And I did. And I was full-blown for 7 years. Slow and steady for at least 7 before that. And then it was every night. Why? Well, I had my own reasons. My reasons? I like the taste. Okay, come up with a better one then. I slowly declined. That's just what it does to you. It just slowly you decline into the poison. Your brain turns to mush. You can't think anymore. You can't concentrate. You're chasing something at the bottom of that bottle. And what exactly that is, who knows? We all have our fucking story. We can all wah our way to the bottom of the bottle all we want. We really can. Every single one of us can do that. And hey, I'm talking about alcohol here, but you know what? There are many other poisons out there. Guys, you guys all know the poisons that each one of you are on, whatever that is, and don't you dare tell me you're not on any. Because if you are one that is not on any poison, please give me a yay in the comment section, because I will literally do a video specifically for you. So if you ain't doing no poisons at all, and you're just flowing through your shamanic life, if you're a shaman, I get it. But the point is really clear that getting off of the poison is the first step to your own self-betterment. And the longer you kid yourself, the more now moments just disappear. So I will again encourage you. I know for my part it's alcoholic, so alcoholic to alcoholic. Stop kidding yourself. Like, no, but seriously, like, stop. Have a little more kindness for yourself, a little more self-worth and self-respect. And when you have a little bit more of that, you become a little bit more self-aware. And when you become self-aware, that's when you start telling yourself, right? I shouldn't be doing this. This is not good for me. And when you're going through an awakening or you're trying to change better aspects of your life, the first thing you need to do is get off the fucking poisons. Because they're literally made to keep you down. Trust me, I'm still battling every day. I had a wine bottle last week. But I'll tell you something. It's nice to say that. Because you know what? I used to say I'm having one every day. Back and say I had one last week. Fucking kudos to me, man. No, but seriously. So alcoholic to alcoholic. Or addict of whatever kind. I'm sure I can relate to a certain degree. I can relate to the addiction, right? I can only relate to my type of addiction. But I know that if I have one addiction, I am most definitely prone to go for another at any point. And I've said in one of my other videos that I did the other day, if you're going to have an addiction, let it be one that serves you. Not one that tears you and everybody around you apart. Because let's get real, okay? If you're an alcoholic, I can guarantee you came from a long line of alcoholics. And if you say no, well, then you're a whole new version of an alcoholic. Now, you're the one that you got to really sit down and think to yourself, okay, where and what happened and how did I get here? But I'll tell you that probably 99% of us come from a shitload of assholes behind us. I mean, come on, guys. Let's get fucking real here, okay? Alcohol is not pretty, for fuck's sakes. Can we remove the illusion? Alcohol is not pretty, people. It's dangerous. It destroys lives. It kills you. It toxifies everything around you in one form or another. So reprogram the fucking program. And understand that your alcoholism was programmed. So it's time to reprogram the program. Thanks so much for tuning in again. Clearly stated, you're with Vibrating Minds.